Good day, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, I am thrilled to have Jay Rose, who is the owner of Electrify Your Soul LLC, which is a CMOS company. Yes. Thank you. That she is a passionate entrepreneur, is on a journey to helping others heal themselves naturally. And I also have Billie Shuttpelz, who is an expert in holistic pain management. She has been dealing with pain for years that she's been able to manage holistically without using any pharmaceuticals. So welcome, ladies. It's great to have you both on the show. And I would like to start with you with your CMOS. So we'll show this is the apple cinnamon CMOS. Tell us a little bit about how you started your journey, why you started your journey, what got you into CMOS.
It's been a long time coming. My journey really took me from seeing people growing up that were sick, seeing people, whether it be family or friends, and not always choosing the best choices for myself either, and not knowing that there is a difference. So growing up, I was an athlete, I was in school, I was in pretty good shape, and it wasn't until like my 20s things started going haywire, whether it be hormones, adrenal glands. They just said, oh, your blood works, everything's fine. There wasn't much to say, but things were still going on. Things were wrong. Exactly. Well, and if you look at our diet, even now, with the processed food, the chemicals that are in it, and, I grew up eating good stuff, but then also that stuff too. Yeah. So I think that has a lot to contribute, into my later years, and saying, there are things that I don't want to have complications with going the Western medicine side of things, and I know that there's a different way. After my mom passed in 2019, she was always sick with different types of cancer growing up. So, she would always be in remission and be out of it, and I really seen how she was a poster child for, let me just pop a pill for whatever it really was. And I seen, having to view her body and say that, that's my mom, how it deteriorated her through the cancer and through all the treatments and the medication that she was on. I mean, her body was already black. She was already deteriorating from the inside out. So I knew that I had to really make a lot of changes. I have a 4.5-year-old, and a little bit before that, I had some things go on with some black spots on my left nodule, and it wasn't until I actually got pregnant they said there was something going on with me, that I wouldn't be able to get a biopsy until after I delivered. And my pap smear came back for the first time abnormal. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? They said, you have cancer. Not in my lungs. They weren't sure about that, but I had some polyps. And they said that I would have to go under treatment. They just gave me options. And I knew that after I got pregnant that I was going to, get a test done. And it was actually precancerous cells. Got them cut out, a colonoscopy. And I didn't get my lungs checked for about another year. Within that year, I really dived into just everything natural. No matter what it was, I listened to my body. I did a lot of research. I did my own research. I was just reading up on a lot of gurus, a lot of other doctors, holistic doctors. Dr. Sebi was definitely one of my go-to guys, and I really did. I worked with his program. I dived into veganism, and I really just cut out a whole bunch of stuff. And it wasn't even just that. It was mentally, what I was programmed, what I thought everything was, was okay for me, or just okay, just the lifestyle. So it wasn't just even what I was consuming food-wise, but it was also what I was consuming, what I was listening to, just what things were passed on as like in my childhood and growing up, and just seeing, being a product of certain environments. I didn't have a typical upbringing. So I've seen a lot of different ways on how to heal. So when it comes to the mental health end of it. I knew that I needed to get that right first, which is a long journey as well. I have a good history with that as well. So when I started getting my mind right and really started rewriting and reprogramming a lot of things that I knew that were just unhealthy, even if it was something that was healthy, but that I just did too much, excessive, it was not going to be a good thing for me. So I needed to find that happy medium, that balance. And I came across actually a gentleman out in California, and he introduced me actually to soursop. And soursop, he said, hey, if you're having these issues, he was in school for some biotech, and he was into herbs and holistic nature too. So, the universe just brought me everybody that I actually needed to help me find this information. I wasn't privileged to be around people that I actually needed at that time. So I came across the individuals that, whether I met them or I read on them and I studied them, that, I said, hey, this might work for me. And so I tried it, I implicated it, and it wasn't until August of 2023, I had gone to the hospital the first time, and they couldn't find anything going on with me and why I kind of passed out. And they said, everything's fine. I said, well, I have a black spot on my lung. I haven't gotten checked. And I know I should have, they ran all the tests. They put me through an MRI. They said, it is not there anymore. The only thing that I can think of that is, I just absolutely turned my whole life around. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything. And it's a lifestyle, and it's not, I'm not perfect by all means necessary, but it's a lifestyle that I choose every day to be disciplined in, to have the drive in, to say, you know what, I hold myself accountable when nobody else is around. What am I doing out in the world? What am I thinking about that is now I'm putting into action that, okay, you guys aren't around, well, let me just eat some cookies and I'll just be okay, or let me just intake on something that isn't healthy, that isn't, progressing myself. I have to hold myself accountable because I know what it's like not to be here. So I really, when it comes to just CMOS and coaching people and helping people through being that bridge of saying, you're not exactly where you want to be at, and I'm not either. I every day take small increments to be my best self, to be the change that I want to see. And then bridge people over that are struggling, that just don't know, just like me, and help them. So I do provide a service as well for that. But my CMOS came about when I really didn't have anything else. And I studied CMOS, and I said that this is probably going to be for me. My family lineager has a tie to it in Ireland. So I really thought, okay, well, this is going to be my one step, and that was. And then from then on, my family, I made it for my family. And it wasn't until actually 2 incidents, my son started becoming a picky eater, and he wouldn't take the regular CMOS, so I decided to, the apple cinnamon was his inspiration. So I decided to make it like applesauce so he would eat it, and it just grew from there. A guy who was actually detoxing from another state came, I was in contact with, and I provided him the CMOS for his detoxification, and he said, hey, you need to start selling this. So it's, I patented it, I put it into a business a year and a half ago, but it didn't start off as a business. I was just helping people, just helping myself and my family, and just people I love and I care about, really.
That's how some of the best businesses get started, in the natural and in the wellness area, the holistic wellness area. That's how some of the best businesses get started, is they started helping their friends and family with whatever it was they had discovered or come across, and then their businesses have blown up because now the word's out, and people are running from pharmaceuticals for these days. You know that. Yeah. They're really trying to get healthy. It's not necessarily about living longer, it's just about living a better quality of life, and you can't do that if you're not healthy. That's super important. So that's an amazing journey that you've been on. That's really exciting, and love what you do. And Billie, you also have a story in the holistic pain management department.
I do.
Love to hear your story on that. How did you get involved, and what have you found that helps you?
Yeah, so the pain management, about 20 years ago, I was addicted to painkillers, like most of the world that was in pain. So I went through rehab and came out of it and knew that I needed to find a way to live without being on the prescriptions and without needing, because I traveled and I was actually living international at the time, I needed to be able to manage the pain with things I could find in stores, with things that I could do myself. And so I do have things that I use from the stores, but the most interesting part about it is probably the mindset, like you were talking about, and going down the multiverse path and the quantum path of like we create our reality, and starting to experiment with thoughts and getting in touch with my body, like talking to different parts of my body to actually listen to what it wants and what it needs. And that would be my biggest advice to people, is their body will tell them what they want and what they need. And learn how to muscle test yourself, learn how to test something on your body to see if it wants it. And that helps nomads, it helps travelers, it helps people that can't necessarily get supplies, you know, like if they can't get here to get the sea moss.
Right.
Yeah. Or if they know about sea moss here and they go to another country, they can still go to a holistic store and ask about the same sort of product. So I used a lot of local knowledge. Exercise and just being in touch with my body as far as head to toe, instead of, oh, my wrist hurts. No, what's going on in my whole body?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that helped a lot. I used to do a lot of massage, a lot of scar tissue release. A lot of us have scar tissue we don't realize that we have. Yeah,
so expand on that, the scar tissue that we what scar tissue would we have that we don't realize, and then we'll see how CMOS can come into play.
Oh
on that.
yeah, excellent.
Definitely.
I'm really excited to start your product, actually. I'm like, yay! And I want the apple.
Okay, gotcha.
Right?
Right
that
there.
one's for me.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good.
So basically what started me on the painkillers was I had an accident and crushed this right wrist. So it was completely crushed and collapsed on itself.
Ow.
Yeah, yeah, it was painful. But so that ended up in a surgery, and the surgeon put it all back together. He said it was a little bit like Humpty Dumpty, because our hands have so many bones in them.
Wow.
And everything. Yeah.
I bet.
And then he ended up needing to go away to treat some people in Bali after the tsunami. And that took him away for a lot of weeks. And because of that, I ended up in the cast for a while. And that turned into chronic regional pain syndrome. Yeah, so CRPS, CRPS, yeah. And that actually has a physical, you can see it, it's visual. So when he took the cast off, my arm had like really dark, long hair all over it. And it was obviously swollen, and it just had a different texture on the skin. So part of the way I knew I was healing was when all of that started to go away. Right? So I could see
Interesting. Wow.
see the healing, right?
How did you feel?
Oh, so that was a nerve. It was a lot of nerve pain that went to the back of the neck, because that was what I fell on and it jammed it. And so when I came back to the States after rehab, I found a chiropractor. I love chiropractors, who used a certain type of technique where they pull the whole spine. That got me out of pain pretty much the first time, because he released the nerve at the back.
All right, shout out chiropractors.
Yeah, right? I know, that technique saved my world. And then to start releasing the scar tissue, I had a friend who does, he calls it muscle release therapy, but he's also an energy healer. And so he just really focused on this area, and he would go in there. So he's a mix between a massage therapist, a physical therapist, and an energy healer. So, and he's in Michigan.
And what's his name?
Parker Whitaker.
Parker Whitaker, for you people in Michigan.
Amazing. And then Parker Whitaker is at Dr. Brockenshire's office. And so Dr. Brockenshire is the chiropractor that has saved my life with all the nutritional information. Like, he can read my body like no one else can, and really help me with very specific things. So I would not recommend that people just go to a health food store and buy whatever. It can waste a lot of money. And it's much better to go to a practitioner that can read your body and is trained in those things. If you have the money, that's the best. otherwise you can learn to test yourself, like I said, in the stores with this stuff.
Now, would CMOS be something that could be used for any kind of a pain management? Is it does it help with the neurological system?
It does. So there's many different good properties with it. When it comes to the pain management side of things, it helps reduce the inflammation that we store in our body.
Yeah.
And that, again, then that will help with arthritis, any type of pain that you are having in it. And you can use it topically,
Cool.
but you're using it topically, you're ingesting it. Either way, you're going to get the benefits of it.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
excellent.
And what would you say are some of the key benefits of taking CMOS? How do you take it? What's the dosage?
So what I've found, so that we'll go with the dosage. The FDA does recommend between 1 and 3 tablespoons. Now, if you know where you are sourcing your CMOS from, that's going to be a whole different ball game. So there are wide ranges of CMOS, which is, a type of seaweed. It comes from the sea. So depending where you're sourcing it from in the ocean, you're going to get certain nutrients a little bit higher and a little bit lower. Not that one is better than the other. It's depending on your needs. I do believe CMOS, that is a Chondrus crispus, that is going to be more of like a flowery type of look. That comes right off of a rock. That is going to have a more potency in iodine and iron. So if you are lacking in that or deficient in that, that might be, you need to be on a high dose thyroid medication. That can take the place of that type of medication.
That's awesome.
But then, and so they all have wide ranges. The stuff that you get more from the islands, that seaweed, the sea moss grows when it is in warm water. So when it is warm, like up in Ireland area, it is accessible only a certain period of time, like in the summer times, and then in the islands area by like St. Lucia's and Jamaica, that it's all year round. Now it's going to have a lower count on your iodine and the iron levels. It's always good to make sure you get your blood work done. Going like you said, Billie, just kind of experimenting can really hurt yourself as well, not just your pockets, because herbs and holistic medication, doing things the natural way, is also just like medication. You can have a side effect for it. If you know that you are have high blood pressure and you're taking something that's going to be lowering it, but you're taking too much of it, you can crash out. Yeah. So I mean, it's just for example. So my stuff, I do recommend between 1 and 3 tablespoons a day if you don't know what's in your blood. If you haven't gotten any blood work done, which I have, so I know the things that I'm a little bit more deficient in, and that I can tinker it a little bit more than others. I think that's why I am, been called the sea moss lady. So I can really just play with it a lot more than others, so I mean, the key things that I think that are really good for it is your gut health. It's going to your brain and your gut health. So sending the signals to our body is really important, and being connected with your body and being able to listen to it. Because when we're not, then we can't listen to it. Then we don't. Then we just we're just, I don't know what we're doing here. But then with your gut health, it really helps to pull out the bad bacteria and then put in good stuff. And when we have a happy gut, we are happy or functioning better.
Everything starts in the gut.
Yeah.
Everything starts in the gut, and then it affects the rest of your body.
It definitely
So,
does.
Yeah.
big fan of that.
Yeah.
So would you suggest low and slow? That's usually how I start new medications.
Low and slow.
To see how my body reacts to it.
Very much.
Yeah.
I always ask my customers, my clients, and they become very connected with me. Like I get really personal with them, especially if they are having other services with me. So I always ask them, are they on any type of medication? Have you gotten any blood work done? And what are your triggers? Like what are your trigger areas in your body that you just know of, period? And until that's only like the first meet. They've already done some research on CMOS. If they haven't, I usually recommend go do some research, talk to your primary doctor, see if this is going to be a good fit for you before you start going in. But I do recommend that, them doing that process first. So if they have already and they're gung-ho about it and they're like, no, this is what I want, I always say making sure that you're getting your water intake, to run it through your lymphatic system. That is so important. But between 1 and 2, I'll start that off with them, depending.
Yeah, and just pay attention to their body, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
know your body. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and then if you're having a bad reaction, obviously lower it a little bit, low and slow. So
That's what I tell others, especially clients that have a lot of arthritis, and until they want to get to a certain tablespoon or a certain dose, I say tinker that until you get. Now, if you're having you have to use the bathroom a little bit more because it will regulate you.
Oh, nice.
So it will help easily regulate you. But if you are feeling a little bit, that just wasn't the one, and your body was just kind of, then the ones that you did before that 2 tablespoons, that is your dose. Yeah. That is really your dose. Yeah.
How do you take it? Do you mix it with tea, water? Do you just take it straight off the spoon?
It's a really good question. So, my CMOS, you can do whatever you would like. I always tell everybody but I make it and I take the guesswork out for people. I make my CMOS just enough of organic fruit and the other herbs that I put into it that you don't taste the sea. You don't have, whatever you do mix it in, it's just going to taste like that. So I really just help people. I mean, health and natural ways aren't always going to be great, aren't always going to taste good. We have lots of bitters out there that are really good for us. There's a lot of things that are good for us that just don't taste good. But some people need a little extra. So I do a ratio of 90% CMOS and 10% the other mixture, and it's just enough that you're not washing the CMOS down with all the extra, like the distilled water that I use with it. So you're getting the most CMOS for it.
90% CMOS.
That's a lot.
That's a huge first ingredient because that's what you're using to heal. Whereas a lot of other things, the first ingredient is what? Sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Love that.
Yes,
Love that.
And where do you source yours from? You were talking about the 2 different places.
Yes. So there are direct connections that I have through friends and family. So I will be privileged one day to go and source it out myself. But as of right now, it is in the St. Lucius area or up in like the Atlantic area. So it'll be up by the islands or by Maine. But right now, majority of what I see that people really like, that really works for them, especially in the local community where I'm at, is they do like the where I source it from in the islands. It has a little bit less iodine and iron, but just enough that actually when our bodies get a little bit of it, we're like, wow, we're on the go, and that's where the extra energy comes in. And I want that. People always ask me, how long until I see side effects? When I can really see some results. I'm saying right away. I mean, you're gonna feel mentally happy for like no reason. I mean, it really works well with our mental health.
Oh, everybody needs to be on this.
Yeah,
Everybody needs to be on this.
Yes.
Finding the dose of you is gonna be key.
Yeah.
And then your energy level, you're going to notice, especially if you're getting your water intake through the day and getting it through your lymphatic system. CMOS will also help regulate your sleep in the long term. So if you are going to go to sleep, it's going to help you go to sleep.
Okay.
So I tend to really dream really good and be in a heavy state. But whatever, if you're getting up in the morning, you're taking your CMOS right away, and all your other, maybe you're having a tea, and you're doing your water, and you're doing your little ritual, and you're getting up, and you're going to do whatever you want to do in your world, right? You have to go tend to the garden, you have to go to work, you have kids, you have the grandkids coming over, you just got to clean the house, so it is going to help you do what you need to do. So if you're going to be up and active, you're going to be active. So if you're going to be, okay, well, I think I'm going to need it a little bit for bed, an hour and a half before you go to bed, have some, and then, it will in the long run. So there are short-term and long-term benefits. But the 2 ones is energy and your mental health you're going to see a change.
Good.
Very much.
Yeah, those are great benefits. Both of those are great benefits.
Yeah. I have a question about, so one of the things I struggle with is parasites, and that's a little bit with the low and slow. So, and it's kind of a hot topic on TikTok and all of that, right? So, but I'll bring up the question that everyone with parasites should ask about all medication, the Herx effect. So, like, I'm guessing this is perfect for parasites, but could the die-off happen too quickly?
So, and that's why going slow and listening to your body is going to be really key. I think with anything that I make, there's also herbal remedies that I do, and I speaking to a client right now, and she's just amazing. She calls me every other day or at least every week to give me updates and how everything's going. I really find that before I would take things from other holistic practitioners or gurus and try their ways, and it would be way too harsh. It would be way too harsh. So I have learned from being harsh with my body in previous times to go easy. What's really good about CMOS, it really does detoxify you, whether it be pulling out those parasites, but also the mucus that store the sickness and the disease that we have.
Nice.
So I just say, you try, you listen to your body. But from what I have experienced and other people have experienced, and the research that is out there, it doesn't. But I think if you overload on anything, that can happen.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why they should always ask that. And go low and slow. If they have parasites, everything is low and slow. Otherwise, the after effects can have you in the bathroom and feeling like you're dying. So
that would be a good question then.
Yes, very much.
Because a lot of people are dealing with parasites.
Yeah.
And
so,
how to get rid of them.
I love the way you've constructed it. That's excellent.
All right. Let's see, what have we not covered? Okay, so what makes your CMOS gel different than others that are on the market today?
There's so much out there. I really got inspired by Dr. CB and how his work was. I'm a person that when I spend my energetic money on something and my time, I really have to be invested in who that person is, where they come from, their struggle, and their intentions behind things. So I can say that my intention behind helping people it's really to be the change that I want to see, that I know that our world is going into, and that one day we might not all have the struggles that we have right now, and it's going to be with people just like me, just like you, just like anybody that's wanting a positive change. So the energy that I put in it is very loving and positive and uplifting, and it's that can be a very well source. I mean, they say, energy, even with somebody who's touching you or cutting your hair, is going to then put that type of energy into you. And if you are not, well protected, or aware of these things, it can kind of take over.
I have another random question.
Oh, yeah.
Random. So you know how honey, when you have allergies and you move somewhere new, you're supposed to use the local honey. Mm-hmm. Is CMOS the same? Like, should we try to get local CMOS?
So that's a very good question. So I find that this is a little rant. Honey, honey, I'm actually allergic to honey. I can't have it. I'm intolerant to it. Yeah. So very little, or if none. But that is such a good question. So when you have something local, whether just say I don't carry any preservatives or any sugars in it. So the sugars are all the natural fruit. The extracts from the fruit that make that sweeter. So the thing is, when you get something that is shipped away, they might have preservatives to last a little bit longer, or for the shelf life, and we all know about the shelf life. Mm-hmm. So things that are bagged up, we try, you got to try your best to minimize those things, but getting it local, I prefer. Or if I know I'm traveling, to a sister state for one of the products, I will make sure I bundle up. Mm-hmm. and you know, make sure I get enough to last me for but so long until I can make that trip again. But locally, I do believe, just like honey, I just feel like it's not necessarily the product, but how long it's being stored.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just really how long the shelf life is. So
That's excellent. Thanks for explaining it that way.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the honey, I understand, because the bees are pollinating in the area, so they're bringing that allergy trigger to you. So that makes sense. The sea moss, I didn't know.
Right.
So can you even source it? Like, is it sourceable from Charleston, or do you need to go into Ireland?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the thing is, like, where they have it, if you have a direct connection to the ocean, where there is wild-crafted sea moss, there is grown sea moss, and there's you know, there's a bad rep that some people are pool growing it. Oh my goodness, that's so sad. But so what happens is it is naturally grown off of a rock. So wherever that it is, if you wildcraft it, you're out there sourcing it right from the rock, and you're getting the 92 out of the 102 vitamins and minerals your body needs. The trace minerals is coming from the rock. So when you're growing it yourself, it's still in the same habitat. So you're still getting the nutrients, it just might be a little bit less, and it's through a rope, not the rock.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there's going to be certain things that you're going to miss a little bit, but just one and the same. So it depends on your bodily needs. Right. If you don't need something more potent, or if you do need something a little bit more, but a little bit less in some area, you just really have to look at where it's being sourced, and see which product is going to be really right for you. Yeah.
Are there any side effects from it, or are there any potentially people that need to be avoiding this?
Yeah, people that are already on medications, high-grade medications for thyroid, for blood thinners, because it will help, not necessarily completely thin out your blood like a blood thinner, but what it does is it does help with the clotting. So if you're already on something that you shouldn't, be shaving your legs, or you can't eat green leafy things, then yes. So anybody who might have potentially a seafood allergy or shellfish, or iodine allergy.
Good point.
I say potentially because there are people that are sensitive to things, intolerant to things, and then completely allergic. And there are metals that are so the trace minerals are going to have like these metals, the metals that our body absolutely needs to keep on moving, right? So you really need to look at the list and see, okay, if I'm completely allergic to this, or if I'm sensitive to this, because I can't have but so much in my body like I am. So I have some things that are going on with me, and I have a histamine intolerance with mast cell activation, maybe some little adrenal gland things going on too. So I have to be very careful of just how much I'm consuming of certain things, because it's like a cup. If I have too much, my cup runneth over, my cells attack myself. So, and so I'm really particular on the fruit, where I get it from. If it's just picked, even if it says organic and I know the farmer, because that's what I do, I will still chop it up and leave it out, and I test my things. Yeah. I test my things because I need to make sure I'm okay, because this is the sole thing that I run and operate on too. And so my thing is when it comes to being sensitive to it, there's not going to be, so if you can't have shellfish, there might, because it comes from the same environment, might be traces on it. Just like if you were baking, or you buy something from somewhere and it says this was manufactured in somewhere where it has milk, nuts, you could be sensitive to it. It's the same It's one and the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming people, if they're worried about that, would schedule a session with you, right?
Yes.
And do you do remote sessions with people?
I do. I actually will do remote sessions, but I'm a one-on-one type of person.
Yeah.
I really am. So I will come to you.
Aw, yeah.
So but yeah, I have most of the time we'll do one-on-ones, and then majority of the time it's over the phone. Yeah.
And how do you have a website, social media? How do people get in touch with you?
That's very good, because I'm still very new to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born and raised up in Pennsylvania, and I relocated down here in 2020. So, I'm really just really new. So my social media site on IG is Electrify Your Soul LLC 24. And my website, still under construction, I think it will always be, because there's always new things and updates, is cmossgels.carr.co.
Okay.
Yep.
And we'll put all that on the website.
Yeah.
I mean, on the video as well.
Okay.
Okay, great.
I have another really random topic that.
Oh yes, let's go.
Right. With all the solar flares and everything that's happening with the sun, that's a form of solar radiation, and so a lot of people will take potassium iodide or iodine. This would probably help the people that like to take that and feel better on it. Maybe.
Yes, very much. So, I've gotten that a couple of times, and I've gotten clients that were talking about that endlessly, and I couldn't even get a word in. I was like, oh, okay, but I just know there is a market, and they do like that, because they're like, oh, with the iodine, the potassium, they do source other natural remedies as well for that, but they love the CMOS because of the iodine.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, it's a natural way to get it.
Very
much.
much.
All right, let's see if I have anything else that I just don't want to
Thank you. That was
skip
a really
over.
good question. I really like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, do you have any customer testimonials or stories that stand out where somebody's actually been able to heal themselves with the CMOS?
Yes, I have a couple of clients that were under, putting it up on the website, their testimony, whether it be video or written. So the lady that I'm speaking to right now, Miss Velasquez, she came to my fiance, and she never met me personally, but when she called, because he said, hey, if you have any questions or concerns, just give this number a call. So she called me. She said, oh yeah, I bought from your husband, this is what I got, and I got the tea, and the detox tea, and so I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna have a type of session, I didn't really go over like packets or anything. I just said, hey, this can be part of what I can help you out with if you have any extended questions. So she said, oh no, she needs me, she needs my help, but she would like to also give me feedback, and I love feedback, because I want to know.
Yes.
Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, do an honest review if you want to. You know what I mean? Take some of my product, do an honest review, tag me up, or just give me a call, let me know what's going on. And that's basically what it was. And she has arthritis and ankle issues. She's an in-home caregiver, and she, needs to kind of maybe like lose some weight, but she absolutely has arthritis, and she has some skin issues. Well, she can't move around that great. She's very sluggish, walking, swollen, and she has a lot of inflammation. So it's been, I think, about a month, and I just met her yesterday for the very first time. I was doing a drop-off to her, and she is, every week, it just seemed like she got happier and happier, and she's like, I can walk, I don't have that pain anymore. And she found her dosage for that, and then she states that she's still a little sensitive in her knee area, and her one elbow. So I made up a little bit, just personalized, just a little bit like a tea tincture for her, and I said, hey, maybe this will help a little bit more, because the natural herbs that I do put in the sea moss, you just might be a little bit deficient, might need a little bit more of it. So, I just quickly did something up for her, give her a little instruction. So I said, hey, try this and let me know how you are in 2 or 3 days. So she's amazing. We're going to do a video and put it on the website. I really wanted her to be here today. I really did. She's just amazing.
Oh, you should have brought her in.
Yeah, she does have a client that she works with, so it was the timing, the day. So, and I do have, his name's Mr. Gibbs, and he came to me because he had he's diabetic and he was going to go on to insulin, and he wanted his levels to be, not skyrocket. So he was on the medication that he was on, and he actually tinkered off of his medication, and his sugars have been stabilized, and that was since last October.
Wow, that's
amazing. Yeah.
So he doesn't have to go on insulin.
Nope, he doesn't have to go on insulin.
Huge.
Yep, he gets his blood work done like every 28 days or like 31 days.
Huge. Oh,
and so he's going to write something up. He says he's not a video type of person. So I can't record him.
Wow.
Okay, for you loads of diabetics out there. And oh my goodness, so that's something to research and
That's
listen
big.
to and check out. So we know how they can get in touch with you, but what other services do you offer? And what other products do you offer? You've said tea, and then you've said services. So
yes, I do natural remedies. The service that I do is really just if somebody needs, I don't want to say coaching, but I also don't want to say, oh, I'm a doctor. But with my life experience and the research that I have done, and I come to be able to just guide people. So just a natural holistic guider, and if they need more services, because it can come to where people, they can do their own research. They can go on Google, they can go on YouTube, they can go on any type of social media site and get that. But when they feel very connected with somebody who is also an energy reader and healer, then they can work well with them. And if they trust them and things are, working out for them, then why go to anywhere else? Because there's a lot of misinformation out there on the web.
Yes,
On the market. So
absolutely, that connection is so important.
Very much.
So if somebody's just starting out on their natural healing journey, they can contact you, and you can put a program together for them. And
Personalized program.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
That's wonderful.
Excellent.
Good. And for pain management, do you have anything to add? Like what do you use that's all natural? What natural products do you use for pain management?
Oh, that's a hard one.
We've got a lot of people in pain
I
out
know,
there.
right? Yeah. So obviously magnesium and vitamin C to help keep things moving.
Very much.
Right?
Yes.
The supplements that I take, I'd probably prefer not to mention them specifically, because that's for me. Like, that's something my that chiropractor has designed for me personally. But they're ones that balance both my mental chemicals as well as energy. But mostly we've been working on the parasites. So parasite cleanses are good. Also better to do them under supervision.
Yeah.
So my pain has gotten so much better. So you've seen me for the last 3 months since I've lost a lot of weight. And so
You look fantastic.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, right. So I'd say before that, though, I was using KT tape. So if you can, when you travel with kinesiology tape, that can go almost anywhere. Any braces, if that's helpful to a joint. I'm trying to think through the different types of pain,
Yeah.
Making sure people sleep. Sleep is important, and meditation. Doing daily meditations, or when my pain flares, I allow myself to go lay down, take a permission slip, give myself a permission slip, a hall pass.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Listen to your body.
Yes, and warm baths are very calming to the nervous system. So I guess as I'm talking, they're all kind of things that calm my nervous system.
Okay.
So if people can learn about how to calm their nervous system and get it back into parasympathetic, it's very helpful. Like, that's life-changing.
And is there anywhere they can follow you or contact you about any questions they may have about managing their pain holistically, naturally?
Yes, absolutely. So on Instagram, I'm at the Billie Experience. At the Billie Experience, and I'm pretty sure that's also what my handle is on TikTok. So.
And we'll have it on the video as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, ladies, anything else that you want to add? Anything you want to share with our viewers? about your journey, about your product?
I mean, I kind of shared a lot of stuff. I am a type of person that I'm a very private person, actually. But when you really get to meet me and get to know me, I open up very much. But like you said about the nervous system, I think that is one thing we are definitely going towards. If I could just say to anybody, even my younger self, is just be gentle with yourself. Learn about your body and your nervous system, the mind, and really know what you're getting into with your environment, the people that you surround yourself with, because you could be young and everything's working fine. You get older and you wonder why. You might have to, reset your body, and that doesn't always feel good. So,
right? And I did think of another major thing that we could do a whole nother session on if people are interested. So if people are interested, let Rebecca know, comment on the video. But using frequencies for healing.
Right. That's a big
Yes, I forgot
right
about
now.
that. Exactly, yeah. So on YouTube, there's several creators that I trust, and I trust them because if you guys experiment, go onto YouTube, type in healing frequency for digestion. You could go through several videos and you should be able to feel in your body when the right one hits you, because the frequencies hit different.
Right.
But yeah, it's free on
suggestion.
YouTube. It's an amazing resource. Yeah.
That is really good that you mentioned that, because I work well with the frequencies and the chakras, and it all ties into also how we feel about ourselves and what we have to work on within ourselves. So going in and working on the shadow aspect of things, and different chakras, and line up with the different frequencies. And if you can kind of maybe even stem back from some traumatic things. We all got traumatic things, and we stub our toe and get it. That's trauma. But it can lead into and seep into our areas of our life, and it shows throughout our body.
Absolutely.
Very much.
Yes. And Rebecca, I know you're selling the book on your store about the body keeps the score.
Oh.
So right, or you'll have it.
How to simplify your life is my book that's out right now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And you can find that. You can go to my TikTok. You see it linked here on YouTube, so you can just you can click on that and buy my book on how to simplify your life, and it includes a chapter on on eating well and staying healthy, because it's just so much simpler to be healthy than it is to be sick. So there's a whole chapter dedicated to that on natural healing. So okay, ladies, thank y'all very much, and thank you guys for joining the viewers. And if you have any questions, we'll have all of their information, their contact information linked in the description below, and you can contact them for anything for holistic pain management to CMOS and getting started on your natural journey. She can actually put a program, Rose can put a program together for you. Okay.
Yes.